Let's see what happens. By the way, this win to Wyvern, I am a little bit traumatized by this hero because one of my last games that I played, I've been seeing all this off-lane Wyvern, and I was like, let me give it a shot. I have no idea what I'm doing, Daynok. It did not go well, bro. I can actually check the score here. I went 0-7 in the first 20 minutes, and I ended the game 0-13, dude. Woo!
All right, well, the plus side is you are talking to a Grandmaster Winter Wyvern, so ask me everything. Just tell me and I'll tell you what you did and didn't do.
What I did is play really, really bad. It went south like from the laning phase onwards. It was pretty bad. But for this game, as a Grandmaster, what's the matchup going to be like middle against this Magnus here? What does he do afterwards? What should he be building for this game? Are we expecting like Witchblade Rush? Are we going route of ATOS? Are we rushing Ags? Where are we going?
So previously, the strategy for a Winter Wyvern was to go into that Witchblade build, but it really doesn't provide too much in the form of stats. And you got to remember that Wyvern's a universal hero, right? So it's just going to be about maximizing these stat-efficient items. You can see he's got the Wraith Band queued up at this point in time, just to be able to, again, like he's not going to be contested. So it's just about how is he going to pick up the farm? How is he going to look to provide a lot of harass in these early stages? So it's Garn getting into like double Wraith Band, getting into the Tread, Summer checks his ping, and then straight Ags after that. There really isn't any reason to be able to want to delay it, just because you are into a Chen. It's a Chen that's wanting to get aggressive-ish, and you don't exactly have that hero that's going to stand in front of towers and protect. So I don't think Gun can get like uber greedy with this. You just got to try and, get that item that's going to get you out of the laning stage and allow you to farm it up. And then once you get it, you just take over the game. I mean, you mentioned the struggle of the laning stage, right? With a Wyvern. That is probably the big weak point. You've got pretty slow attack speed. You've got pretty slow movement speed. You've got, the damage isn't as big of an issue now that you're a universal hero, but your attack range is still tiny. So you are going to suffer a little bit into the Empower, especially early on. But once he gets like 2 points in Arctic Burn, he should be fine.
Well, we'll take a look back there in a couple minutes, see how things are going. Here in the top side of the map, Dolem did a really cool play earlier on. He ended up stealing the third bounty rune, so made the early trade 3-for-1 in favor of the Holy Grail. And because he knew that it's going to be Chen Naga top, there's no way Naga goes in snare level 1. So there's no actual kill threat they can go for just yet. So very smart read on the situation for Dolem. And with the help of the Silencer, I like the switch up that they've made, Daynok. Normally you have the Silencer playing with the Terrorblade, but putting the Silencer here with the constant Arcane Curse spam, this effectively protects the Void Spirit much more so than a Disruption would. So I really like this change that they've made for Holy Grail.
And they're going to need that because it was some really nice itemization by the Chen as well. He's gone into a Blightstone, and Void Spirit, Silencer, they are not the highest armor heroes to begin with. So you've got that you're going up against. You've got maybe level 3 is when they're actually going to look to make some kills happen here on Limit Gaming. Go like a 1-1-1 build on the Naga Siren, get the ensnare, get the armor reduction ticking in, and then you're actually going to be either 0 or negative armor and really start to get your health ripped through.
I mean, right now, Silence is already sitting at 2 armor. Nice, fun times.
And Void Spirit, if he gets right-clicked once, he'll be at 1 armor. So it makes it even more challenging. Like, against Void Spirit in the mid lane, when it's played as that matchup, that's why I love the Magnus, just because you bully him so heavily off of the cleave coming through from the Empower, off of even just right-clicks. Pangolier into the Void Spirit feels pretty great too, just because it's so much physical damage that you're having to contest into. Ember Spirit, same deal. Early builder of the Orb of Corrosion, he's just going to make Void Spirit's life a lot more challenging.
Speaking of which, I'm just reflecting on how they protect the Void.
He's going the Bracer. I wonder if he should go Wraithband instead, just because of this specific situation where you are into a lot of stuff that's going to be giving you issues with minus armor, especially in the early-ish game.
That's actually a very good point. We'll see if Dolem takes that advice on hold once the game unpauses. He hasn't bought any of the components just yet, so should be fine. Down bottom, we see CXK and Leng Yao taking on DQQ and Summer. This is a classic. Some Summer Terrorblade. It has been too long. Haven't seen this in a minute. Feels good to be able to watch. And the Shadow Demon, man, it's such an annoying hero to lane into, especially with the first point into Shadow Poison. If you play carefully enough as Summer, you know that he'll get to the level 2 to save you, and everything will be A-okay while he's busy just harassing down the opponent.
I've been really impressed by CXK's Rubik performances overall, but I'm just not sure what he's going to really do in this lane. You know, like there's not a lot of kill threat going either way. He doesn't have a magic stick purchased up yet, so it's not exactly the best lane to be able to trade into. You know, you've got a Shadow Demon that's wanting to spam out their Shadow Poisons, and Abaddon's got the magic stick available. Maybe they're actually going to get a kill off the telekinesis.
They're trying to. DQQ did just get level 2 and can throw out the disruption. He's now running behind the trees, but he doesn't have the movement speed. Lang Liao catches up, throws out the miscoil, and secures the first blood for Limit Gaming. All right, that feels really good. You're asking what can he accomplish? And he finds the one misstep from the opponent, takes advantage of it, and gives the offlaner the bonus gold.
That's the thing, right? Like, I talk a lot about these heroes that have a lot of issues with doing much in the laning stage. And Shadow Demon, Silencer, you get caught out of position once, there really is no recourse for you. You know, you don't have a stun, you don't have a slow, you don't have, well, you get a little bit of slow, but it's not all that impactful. So, yeah, you're just going to find yourself in a lot of difficulty, kind of like what we see up top here, right? SJ is taking a lot of right-click harass coming through from this Chen just because he was able to get that early Ogre Frost Mage, so he really isn't going to take too much contesting with this as well. I mean, they're eventually going to block up the small camp again, but, I mean, they've got the creep that they want.
Yep. And there's no Blightstones coming in from a Silencer, so no opportunity to try and deal with this bonus armor. In fact, it might be going on the Silencer. They have a point into the Ensnare now. Blood Grenade gets dropped out as well. And this 1-1-1 build that you mentioned will succeed in getting them a kill. Beautifully done onto SJ. And man, Ensnare, what a spell. For me, the thing about the spell is, it's one of these spells that like the cost range doesn't get disjointed, right, after you cast it. So it always looks kind of ridiculous once the hero starts moving away.
Yeah. I mean, all right, plus sides. Bottle refill for the Winter Wyvern. I think if there's any hero that's going to win the game for you, it is this Wyvern. I really don't think the Wyvern has been countered at all, unless the Magnus gets like, unless he's out of position and Magnus is able to land that skewer. Maybe it's going to need to be like an aggressive Song of the Siren that gets used just to be able to get right on top of the Wyvern. And even then, like you've got to do the little things right, like be standing behind him so that he's not immediately able to Winter's Curse out of the song, you know, stuff like that.
They were helping the Wyvern by throwing in both supports to ensure that the water runes were picked up by Radiant side. And they did succeed in doing so.
Everything according to plan.
All eggs in the Garn basket, baby. And the thing is, even if Garn's not going to perform that well, you still have the backup of this Terrorblade. And you're mentioning that it's a good Winter Wyvern game. This is not a... This is... You know, the things that count as bad Terrorblade games, this is not one of them. Summer... is going to have a genuinely good time unless they can deal with him in the next, like, what, 10 minutes? Afterwards, he's going to be flying on the TB, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even like the Rubik Chen can look to invade and, like, steal away a lot of the farm that he's getting inside of the jungle, right? Like, Chen wants to be playing around the towers instead. Yeah, you just see what eventually happens in this mid lane, right? Like, God, as soon as... He's actually putting more points into the Splinter Blast, which I don't hate, just because he's not really in a position to... need to be forced back. They might even be able to get a kill here. No, 6k. Nice. Going to be able to TP away.
He's out. Does end up going all the way back home, but rather that than be dead. Top lane. SJ might end up dead right now, and indeed he will. Yet another iteration of damage coming in. And we see what this top lane can accomplish with this itemization that you mentioned. I think SJ did indeed drop to negative armor, so he died very, 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 very fast.
I'm just thinking, like, what is this Void Spirits build gonna be this game? Just because you're an off-lane Void Spirit, right? You're not an aura builder. You're not like this. I mean, you can be an initiator, I guess. Maybe this is a game where he goes Aghanim Scepter instead, just to be able to provide a little bit of utility. We know how great silences are against an Abaddon, and you've already got the global silence to be able to provide that. So, you know, that's the sort of thing that I'm considering. They should have seen that that ward was dropped down. Might be able to convert onto the kill, though.
We'll see if they were aware of what just happened from Shusheng. If not, it could be pretty good for the Dire lineup to have that advanced vision. The rune was taken by the Chosen One, finally gets an opportunity to touch some runes. And do you see this Chen finished medallion? Even more minus armor coming in from Limit Gaming. So I also would not be surprised if early on they went for a Roshan. Because they can take it now, right? We don't see as many early Roshes because not that many teams doubled down on the armor reduction, but Limit Gaming might show us one of the earlier ones we see this patch.
Yeah, still on the Abaddon, no points in the Curse of Avernus. I guess, like, again, that reflection can make life a little bit more challenging for you. Maybe he's wanting to avoid it as much as possible, but even just the 1 point for that eventual Roche attempt is just going to make it so much easier. As, well, supports are finally getting better at this, being right on that mark at the 7-minute mark to be able to yoink away both Wisdom runes. So CXK, sorry my man, you are 5 seconds too late, and he's just going to be kicking himself here because a Rubik without levels really doesn't do that much.
Yeah, starting to enter Sad Central. It feels super, super bad. You watch this happen. And to make matters worse, it's not like he was off on the map doing nonsense, right? He was stacking for his carry. You feel like I'm doing all the right things, but still I wind up having to bear the brunt of not getting experience. Feels bad for him. But there will be more opportunities for that experience to come up.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned he did build up the stacks, right? So that's at least going to recover him somewhat. And again, Holy Grail's lineup don't take stacks that well at all. So they've got a couple built up inside of their ancient camp area, but I'm not really expecting them to be taking it anytime soon.
Mm.
Is it going to be a position where they can look to invade? That central ward just out of range of the Observer there. Once again, unlucky with the power rune coming up, but this is the build that I want him to go, right? Oh, CXK has to be a little bit careful here.
It's a shield rune, so it should be fine. Yeah. He won't die.
So.
It's uncomfortable, but he shouldn't die. He should be okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here gets back, retreats.
Look at what they're doing. They realize that, well, Rubik wasn't there and there's a reason for it. Let's yoink away some of this farm, boys.
Oof. All right, so this is best of both worlds, right? Because you still have your own ancients to go back to and your own camps to farm for your real heroes. You're going to get some bonus experience and farm to these supports. You deny it to the enemy. You've inadvertently wasted so much of the Rubik's time. Man, this feels good for Holy Grail.
They didn't do like any damage into these towers. You're starting to deal a little bit of right-click damage into this bottom tower now with the Chen pushing with the Alpha Wolf, but pretty quickly that you can look to make some sort of a defensive rotation towards it to be able to defend if you want. But again, maybe they're just thinking, look, we're going up against an Abaddon, an Argus Siren, a Magnus. Normally very scary, and they still will get a kill off the back of it, maybe 2.
Yeah, they managed to get the second one. That's the first RP that was committed in the game by Chosen One. They were sort of aggressing around this Naga Siren, playing very forward-facing. Chosen One shows up, gets out the RP, gets 2 heroes killed.
To be a little careful here.
Yeah, they do indeed bottom gone. Gonna get stunned up right now by the Centaur Conqueror. Do they have the damage to kill him? They do get the Winter's Curse out in the opposite direction. There is borrow time, though. There's not enough damage anyway. Khan just TP's out. Chen can't really cancel that anymore.
They took the tower, though, which I'm a little surprised that, no one was actually looking to try and respond to that and be able to protect it, because this is not a lineup that does that much early on. Like, all you really needed was the Wyvern to be there a little bit sooner, and that tower probably survives. He's maxed out the Splinter Blast, he's got the Winter's Curse available. If you look to try and make this swarm happen, Winter's Curse just completely turns it around, you get a free kill.
Lots of good things happening for Limit in a short span of time. The 2 kills on the other side for Chosen One, the tier 1 tower without the defense. But Holy Grail are going to try and reset the momentum as they smoke up with 2.
It was under the smoke. Under the vision, though, so they know this is coming.
Bro, this Observer one has actually gotten so much value. Like, I don't think that Chen expected it to last this long. But, sometimes blessings come in the world. Shu Sheng will take it. And they'll utilize it to keep the Naga alive.
Yeah.
Surely she
very
does,
careful.
Right? She doesn't have Song, though. But they don't have Winter's Curse either. So the Splinter Blast goes out. There's the Arcane Curse. Shadow Demon isn't nearby. The Chen all heal is thrown out. Supports are coming in, but they're coming in from the left-hand side. And this Naga's dying on the right, but they don't have faith that they can finish her off, and they don't see where the TPs went. So Holy Grail, give up the chase. That was closer than expected, but feels really good for Limit not to have to give up anything for her life.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe she would just make that TP away happen just because they didn't have the Winter's Curse at the time. So this is just what the Chen does as well in the mid lane, right? He's swarming the lane, he's using multiple creeps to be able to do it. Wyvern makes the response, but this is the weakness of this Silencer Shadow Demon draft, is that you're good at making stacks. They died a bunch in the lane. You're going to be good for the late game. You prevent this Abaddon from being able to go the Radiance build, but you can't convert on kills. And I really am expecting Holy Grail to just have gone a little bit more of this, like, just farm build. There's no need to put yourself in a risky position. Just farm. Get it to your early ags onto gun, and you're going to be just fine. But it looks like he's rushing the ATOS first.
Yeah, going for that build. This is the build that I saw Sumail debuting when he started playing this in the mid lane. So he did end up going for the Aghanims afterwards. So it might just be a stopover. And from what I've noticed, a lot of these players playing Universal Heroes from mid really have a preference for Rod of Atos in some capacity. It's just a good item.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, it's by far one of the most gold-efficient stat items in the game, and that's really all the Universal Heroes want. But, yeah, I just really felt like you would be able to dish out so much more damage in these fights, because you got to consider Ags, right? That's pretty stat-efficient, too. You know, you provide one of the best Aghanim Scepter upgrades in the game, and you're getting 30 stats overall.
Mid lane. Chosen One tried to skewer back onto Summer. Last word was triggered out onto him. Summer wants to use as much of the duration of meta on the tier 1 tower. SJ, look at the damage he's taking. Centaur Conqueror stun, Medallion to take away his armor, and then just raw right clicks. I feel bad for Shusheng. He deserved that kill. Gets yoinked away by CXK, but man, this Shen has been so good this game so far, honestly.
He has. I'm just seeing if they have any blood grenades in stock. I think they've got a bunch that they could look to purchase. He's basically been buying them off cooldown, and, well, luckily for Limit, they're going to be able to get away with this bunch of stacks for this lineup. That, again, they have no issues taking it. They've got Empower maxed out. They've got a Naga Siren with a Riptide to be able to just rip through all of these creeps and provide that much-needed experience for the supports. This 14-minute Wisdom Rune, though, that's the important one. That's the one that can, you know, if you get a couple, can really build you up like 1.5 levels. And, you know, again, that's all really a Rubik is going to need. You want that extra cast range. You want that response to the Void Spirit that might be looking to get a little bit more active. And, well, you can see that he might have had a little bit of difficulty coming out of that laning stage, already about 1,500 gold behind on Dolmek. So means that he's the one that's forced back into taking this this neutral creep stack. Not exactly where you want to be as an offlaner at this stage of the game.
Yeah. Limit Gaming have smoked up. Magnus going on an adventure with CXK. Just recently picked up the Echo Saber. Sadly for them, although they are in the right area, they are here at the wrong time. The Terrorblade has already vacated this region, farming very safely on the other side in the mid lane. So the smoke ends up going nowhere, although they will try to apply some pressure and push this out. Also, with the Naga having pushed out all these waves, there's no angle for them to go and steal the Wisdom Rune. So Dire side, hey, you're going to get your first one. Good times.
Let's go. They're also going to put a decent amount of damage into this tower bottom. Like, the Chen army is here. You've got plenty of damage coming through. They don't have Glyph available. So, yeah, sure, you've taken a tier 1, the first tower that you've taken the entire game, but you're about to lose a lot of your map controllers. It's actually, again, like, what can a Silencer and a Shadow Demon do solo on this bottom side of the map? I guess the plus side is Chosen Ones had to make the rotation back towards the mid lane, and, well, maybe they will actually still get a kill.
They have to go top to save this Abaddon's life. He's been caught with the Winter's Curse. Should just end up dead here. Summer is in with the Metamorphosis, so more than enough damage from the Terrorblade. And nobody from Limit Gaming comes in to mount that defense. And honestly, dude, the Roshan just came top. It's time to go Rosh. Like, you only have a little bit of time left with the meta. Okay, they don't have enough time with meta. Okay, I don't think you can do it anymore.
Yeah. They see exactly where they are as well, with the Observer Sentry Ward combination placed up there, so they know the gun is in position to be able to potentially look for a kill. Chosen One has to be very careful here. They don't have the Atos yet, but they've got plenty of damage.
They have the Global Silence. He doesn't have Manta to dispel this, so he will end up dead on the Magnus. That was interesting positioning from Chosen One in that situation, especially given that he knew the hero should still be in this region.
Yep.
Very scary little move from him. It ends up getting hard punished. That opens up more space, and now they might come punish middle as well. CXK looking like he stepped too far forward. Dolem is in, dragging him in with the Aether Remnant. That should be an easy death. And Shusheng wants to find revenge onto SJ. He will be able to do so, but might not come for free. Khan is here with the Rod of Atos. They put out the damage. Look how much work this Splinter Blast does against the Chen army. And Dolem, him and Khan get the kill onto this Chen. Limit Gaming, things are going so well for them, Daynok, but the last 90 seconds, their positioning has been a little bit sus on the map.
Yeah, it really felt like they could have opened up the map so much if they just made a decision to stay bottom. Like you were saying, the Naga Siren had done a really good job of making sure that the waves were consistently pushed out. This Wisdom Root is still there just because of the work that she was able to do. You weren't able to deal any damage into the mid-tier 1 tower while all that was happening, and they just abandoned it. They didn't see that their opportunity was there for them to be able to open it one up. And, well, I'm still of the opinion that this Wyvern can completely take over this game. Like, you saw how effective he was in that previous fight off the back of the Atos, all the splitter blast damage against the Chen army, and you're already basically 2 components towards the Aghanim Scepter as well.
He can now fulfill his destiny, get that big item that you wanted to see. For Chosen One, he had bought Blink Dagger, then sold it, so wants to finish off the Harpoon first and foremost for this game. Feeling it's more important, but needs to be careful because he actually might be dead in the bot lane. SJ has vision. They got on the Arcane Curse. Chosen One? I'm actually very surprised that Gon didn't want to make that jump. I suppose they don't have vision behind the tower, but he was actually all alone, completely isolated. Had they chose to kill him, they would have been able to do it, but maybe that still happens now, Daynok. They smoke up with 3 heroes, and as they head behind the tower this time, they will become aware that there's nobody else here. It's pretty much just our Magnus. Still, though, will they decide to make the jump? They drop the Observer Ward. Dola making the initial charge. It's going further and further forward. They scout him out by the graveyard. And Chosen One is wasting a lot of time. And you know what this is doing, Daynok? Yes, he's dead. Yes, he's going to tumble. He doesn't like this. But it's making space for the Roshan attempt, which should enable the Dire lineup to claim the first Aegis of the game.
Come on, check the Wisdom Runes on me. You know you want to. Oh, it looks like he might. Ooh, come on, yes.
Oh, no.
Well,
oh, no.
Free XP, thank you very much. All right, so this basically becomes what can you do with this Aegis now? Because again, they don't have any catch. You know, that Blink Dagger that you were mentioning before, it's not going to come for quite some time, especially with that death. They've got the Harpoon coming soon, but again, it's against a... Ooh.
Is Abaddon just dead? Aether Remnant dragging him back. Gon is coming in with the TP. SJ, they found the slows and they really want to chase Abaddon. Dolam is out of mobility spells though, and Gon does not have a Blink Dagger. The Naga though, she goes in. She has the Song of the Siren, but there's the Winter Wyvern Curse going out onto this Abaddon. CXK escapes the fight. Abaddon not so lucky. He will end up taken down. SJ, him and the crew trying to defend the Shadow Demon away from the Chen. They've seen the damage this army can do, but CXK with the stolen Astral Step finds the kill, gets some style points, but will also grant the double towards Dolam as the Naga Siren able to clean up on SJ's life close to the outpost. The 2-for-2 affair. However, Holy Grail do claim an offlaner's life in the process.
Yeah, I mean, that was a little interesting for sure. Maybe just going in a little bit too deep. Again, Wyvern gets away without a death. 2-0-5 in this game, and I mean, you gotta feel a little bit for CXK. He needs to be able to go for those solo kills because of the amount of Wisdom Runes that have been stolen away from them. I don't think they've got a single one this game.
Nope, not a single one. But they have another chance just now, in a couple of minutes. It's coming soon.
History doesn't make me optimistic about the fact that they're going to get it.
Please do it, Limit. I don't want to see these supports being so underleveled. I feel so bad for them. Surprisingly, though, it is Radiant-style supports who have less overall experience. Shadow Demon and Silence are only level 9. But the game state is still feeling okay and pretty good for Holy Grail. That being said, though, there are some key items that are going to be emerging not too long from now for Limit. The Harpoon, yes, it's not going to be the biggest thing in the world. He has it now. But it will enable him to farm faster for the Blink Dagger. And at that point, the game state can turn, and middle, the game state might turn here, Daynok, as Gon is getting gone on. He requires a Shadow Demon to save him, and Cold Embrace will keep him alive for now. He's trying to run himself away with the Arcane Curse, and that barely allows him to live with the Arctic Burn. That's very close and very disconcerting that the Naga could do that all by herself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Wyvern, of course, can just look to go into the Manta style later on, so you're going to have a bit of an answer to that in Snare. Of course, a bit of a silence answer as well for the Abaddon, but it's really all going to be about the Magnus, right? Is he going to be able to find the right positioning to be able to get that Blink Skewer back? He's still only got the Harpoon, and well, with all of these responses, they're going to need to just play around their vision a little bit more.
Yep. It's also intriguing to me that Rubik is the one that's going into Guardian Greaves, and Chen is going the more aggressive option. Just fun and intriguing stuff that you see in the landscape of Dota. Dolem is moving forward a bit here. Chosen One is hiding in the trees. They pop drums. They potentially want to fight. They go on to SJ, lift him back. Harpoon dragging him into Chosen One. That will enable them to kill off the silencer. Doesn't have buyback. We'll see if Limit want to apply pressure to the bottom side of the map. Especially with Summer being here. This feels a little bit dangerous. That being said, Winter Wyvern is not in the area. Gon is top, even though he does have a TP to maybe port down.
Yeah, he could even just go through the twin gate as well if you wanted to make that backstab happen, but they still haven't dealt with that high ground vision, and that's what they're pinging out right now.
Yep. They're gonna come in. Silence going out onto Gon, but at the same time, look at what they've done towards this Abaddon. They've almost killed the wolf. They force him out, and they find the Winter Wyvern, but the global silence will protect him. Chosen One cannot get off the RP. There's gonna be the cold embrace, keeping Winter Wyvern alive, and the RP will come, stalling out Gon and Summer, but there was no follow-up, so that leaves them free and clear to throw out the Winter's Curse. They now have the damage. Naga Siren forced into a song, but they already had the embrace out onto Shusheng,
no,
so he can't escape either. He ends up dead. Dolem also wants to chase. He has Harpoon here, Daynok. Dissimulate available as well. Oh, no. He's the one that lags out. Oh, no. That's heartbreaking.
Nah, Naga's fast enough. She probably would have been able to get away anyway. But yeah, it was close. It is still 15 seconds away from the Astral Step. Probably not going to be able to land that Harpoon. But man, it was one of those team fights where it's just like the tiniest thing doesn't end up going in their favor, right? They just took a little bit too long to be able to get into this tower. So Silencer, he's able to respawn. He gets the global silence off literally as he respawns into the skewer back onto the Wyvern. The best target that you could have possibly got at that stage. You would have loved to be able to drop the RP onto him, just burst him down. And even just the little things like CXK, unfortunately, he used a really early spell steal. He just got the cold embrace so that when that Winter's Curse came out, still was on about 15 seconds cooldown, wasn't able to take the much more valuable spell to be able to potentially turn that fight around. So again, little things just going their way, and with that, Wyvern has the Aghanim Scepter.
Yep. Full Ags online, gonna start building into Manta style. You know, it's a universal hero that's just, it's a rule in Dota. If you have a universal hero, you have to buy Manta. Super, super good. And speaking of, one of the reasons they lost that fight is because of how long the RP took to come out. And this Magnus, very far away from a Manta of his own, still needs this Blink Dagger. This death will further delay the Blink, as he's so close. But that's when you feel the furthest away from finishing these key items. Game is super hard for Limit at the moment. On the bright side, though, they still have an Aegis. They're not going to lose out on that. They haven't lost that much real estate on the map. There's still a tier 1 bottom to play around with, still a tier 2. So things aren't the worst. And oh no, there's still a Wisdom Rune, but I don't know if they're actually going to get it. CXK, please go check, bro. Come on,
please.
Bro. Please. He actually might die. He's underneath an Observer Ward. Oh no, he's going to die. And CXK gets jumped on. He does have the stolen Cold Embrace. Going to buy some space and time. The illusions from Void Spirit get skewered back. And Dolem still hasn't finished off CXK. He steals the Astral Step. He's still alive. Gando here with the Arctic Burn. The Aghanim Scepter revealed in this fight. Look how much work he's doing. Finally, maybe they kill CXK.
He's going to steal the rune.
Arcane Curse on top of him. He Astral Steps to the left. He should have gone to the right. At least get the rune. He will die. DQQ, though, will get taken out by the Chosen One. Chen, you walked by the Wisdom Rune. Dude, please, please. Okay, thank you, Shusheng. They finally get some experience.
Woo!
That's not over there though, because maybe they're going on to Khan, Chosen One, looking for a skewer, catching 2 heroes with it. Doesn't have RP, but they're far away from their team. Cold Embrace onto Khan to buy time. Dolem with the Dissimulate, able to kill off this Magnus, but Khan did die here. And now Naga Siren and Abaddon are able to finish off Dolem as well. So Holy Grail fly a bit too close to the sun, take a fight in an area that they are not welcome, and they get punished in the long run.
Yeah, really just overstaying their welcome, weren't they? You know, they're fighting around a tier 2 tower. They were fighting around a Magnus for the longest time. Sure, you get the kill onto Chosen One, but I mean, I guess it is important to just keep him very aggressively punished. He was there for like the kill onto Gun. He ends up getting credit for that. He got a solo kill onto DQQ, so he gets a bunch of gold from that as well. And we were just talking that he was a fair ways away from being able to pick up the Manta style, but off that fight alone, gets over 1,000 gold just for himself.
Bro, this Abaddon got 800 gold in that fight. Are you kidding me? That is insane. Abaddon now is also going to be finishing off his own Harpoon. Can start building into the Blink Dagger. He's actually building the carrier pattern, not going for the aura route. So the worries that you had about him having all these auras stolen away seem to be vindicated, because he's like, yeah, that seems like a bad idea. And we spoke about how he's going to be forced into this build. The question is, can his team force him to live here? As he's surrounded by Radiant heroes, borrow time will come. And his crew is like, hey, mate, look where you are, bro. We can't help you, sorry. We'll end up dead. At the same time, though, in the top lane, maybe they go on to Summer for some revenge, but they do not want to trigger the song just yet. The heroes are running, though. However, they will be scouted by an observer ward, so Summer should be able to retreat to safety.
Actually going for a Radiance here on the Void Spirit. Not exactly the most common build that you see. I was expecting, like, is someone going to go for a Silver Edge this game? You know, just provide a little bit of crit to a Void Spirit that really doesn't have any damage issues once it gets to the later stages. Once again, you get a lot of the stats from the just leveling up. He's eventually going to start putting points into all stats as well. And just to be able to combine that silence together with the break to make sure that the Abaddon doesn't actually have that borrowed time as a response to a lot of the aggression that you're going to put out onto him.
Summer and the boys in a good position. Limit Gaming still feel very strong with their Naga Siren, though. She is scaling quite well, about to finish off a butterfly. Nobody on the enemy
feels
team.
Like it lasts way too long, don't you think? 5 seconds.
Bro, this has been a constant complaint of mine. Remember, this is the nerfed version, bro. This spell used to be better than it is now, which is crazy. Bottom lane, I think Abaddon might be dead. Gon will trigger the Winter's Curse. The rest of his team is streaming in to try and ensure they can get this kill. At the same time, though, a fight breaking into two locations. Global Silence will be thrown out, and they skewer back Gon underneath the tier 2 tower. This time around, the Winter Wyvern far from any allies, and they can finish him off. Chen happy to provide the distraction necessary for this play to work. And Chosen One, he has Blink Dagger now, so the RP is on. They find the initiation onto Dolan. The rest of Holy Grail need to run. Chosen One looking for SJ. Knows he's in the vicinity. Can he catch out the Jukes? SJ trying to TP out, and he will succeed. Massive pickups, though, on the other two cores, though.
Sure, but I mean, you're playing against two Harpoons, right? Well, almost, but it's so hard to be able to try and get away. Shouted him in as well. We talk about the greedy build. He's going straight into the Aghanim Scepter, which I quite like. We talk about the effectiveness of that break coming through from the Demonic Purge as they actually find another pick off onto the Silencer. You just got away, my man. Oh, and it's another DC.
Yeah. Well, this gives SJ some moments to contemplate his life decisions. Think to himself, man, this sucks, dude. This Ghost Scepter's gonna end. I'm just dead. There's nothing I can do about it.
A little bit of a rookie error there by Gun as well. Like, he uses the Winter's Curse, you've got the Arctic Burn, and you're playing with a Rubik, and the kill didn't exactly take the quickest amount of time. So he could have just tossed out a Splinter Blast onto the creep wave that was there, but instead just opted to try and continue to right-click, and Rubik's still stolen a really valuable spell for this ball up and go style of team, especially if you're able to find these quick pickoffs, right? You've already got a Void Spirit dead, Silence is about to die. You will get the Glyph refresh at least after this tower goes down, but I still think they're in a position where they can just keep on moving forward. I mean, with the tower going down, you'll get enough for the full butterfly as well for the Naga Siren.
Naga. She's starting to feel really good in this game. Once the butterfly is finished, she'll have Heart, Orchid, Manta, Butterfly. Woo! And it's flying out right now. The gold from the Silencer's death and the tier 2 tower will provide. It also provides a Blink Dagger for CXK. So we now not only have stolen Winter Wyvern Curse, we have Blink Curse on top of it. And we have that Manta, like you mentioned. So they have ways now to deal with the global silence in multiple forms. In fact, the only hero that can't deal with silence is the Chen. But I suppose you're not that concerned about just the Chen. Everybody else has a way out. That's pretty good for them.
Why did they take away Chen's strong dispel from his Ags with the Holy Persuasion? I wish it still did. I mean, I guess they gave it to his level 25 talent, but yeah.
Because it was stupidly busted? That's why?
But it was fun, you know?
Oh my gosh.
Who else could do that from any part of the map? Just to be like, you're healed and you're also dispelled.
Yeah. You know what it's basically is, right? You're asking for... The way I think about it, right? Is it fair to have global Dark Pact? That doesn't sound fair to me. Summer
Gotta kill a creep for
caught
it.
out in the top lane and might actually be in some trouble here. There's the stolen Winter Wyvern curse coming in. Shadow Demon is nearby to render aid, but Summer is also really damn tanky. Daynog, he's really tanky. On the other side of the map though, in the river,
Solo.
Naga Siren will solo kill the Winter Wyvern. We saw the proof of concept demonstrated earlier in the game. Gon knew at some point this was coming, and A will fulfill that long-standing promise and kills him off.
Man, I really feel like this is a bit of a snowball effect off of the fact that, you know, Wyvern has just put his priority into a few of the wrong areas, right? Like, he could have been getting a little bit more farm. He could have realized that, you know, I'm at this point of the game where no one can contest me. And because of that, he's just fallen a little bit behind. He doesn't have that Manta style, which is your answer to the Naga Siren looking to go in onto you. So I still really feel like this was a game that this Wyvern could have taken over, but you're now into a Ched that's nearly got more net worth than you. This is one of the advantages and why I'm a little surprised that we don't see more Ched in the pro scene, just because you are one of those supports that just gets so much gold by just existing, basically.
Might be a fight happening bottom. Global Silence was popped. Obviously, they have all these dispels, but they haven't even popped all of them just yet. Magnus jumps in, finds the Blink RP onto the Winter Wyvern, and there is no way out. Double kill for the Abaddon.
It's just as Roche comes as well.
Daynog?
So,
Daynog? Is the game over?
I think the game might be over. I mean, the Naga is already a great counter to the TB, and now Magnus has everything that he could possibly need to be able to like take over this game. He's even level 20, so he's got that extra blink, the extra skewer range. He's got Blade Dagger, he's got Harpoon, he's got Manta to be able to deal with, like you said, the silences coming out from Holy Grail. So yeah, I think they've just left it a little too long to be able to go for their moves, and we're really feeling the effect of this Void Spirit that doesn't exactly provide much to the team fight. You know, he's basically playing as like a, I guess the closest comparison could be like a Legion Commander pickoff style, but you're not even scaling off the dual damage.
He's gonna try to build damage of his own, but he needs time to do so. Time he might not be afforded as Limit are coming for the high ground right now. Summer and the boys already positioned to try and defend this, but there's so much stuff to have to deal with. And yes, we have Splinter Blast, but
Matt's really out of position though. He's up here on the top side, away from the team that's pushing onto the high ground, so Wyvern doesn't have the threat.
now he gets Winter's Curse out onto the Chen, and Chen is gonna die now. And they did indeed steal Curse, but they need to still get out of here regardless. Chosen One, caught in a very awkward part of the map. Not only does that lead it to his kill, but look what Dolem is doing. Dolem can now apply pressure at top, keep the Sea Dragon wave on top of this tier 3 tower. So if nothing else, even if they don't stay bottom, somebody has to go top to clear this out and or suffer more damage than you dealt during your Aegis push.
Yeah, it's a little challenging for sure. And what I do like from Dolem is that, oh, he had it queued up. He had the Silver Edge queued up for quite some time, but maybe just the communication between Holy Grail is there. They know that they've got this Shadow Demon off the back of that successful defense who's been able to finish up the Aghanim Scepter. So Philosopher's Stone helping him out there, but I mean, this is a really farmed SD. You've got the Blink Dagger, so you can always be safe, never the target for that Blink Skewer. He's got the cast range from the Aether Lens, and now he's got the Axe as well.
Mid lane, they finally killed this Void Spirit. That was a little bit greedy coming in from Dolem. He managed to Manta and escape away from the silence of Lang Miao, but he didn't run away from the area. So the next time they catch him, it's a very easy kill. And now the Naga Siren has the full young Hex available as well, so the next time it's even easier to get that chain disable out.
Especially on the Wyvern, right? Like, you might have the Manta finished up at about 1,000 gold, but it's not going to prevent you from a Hex.
They actually choose to play aggressively into the Naga Siren with the Winter's Curse. Not sure
Still
about
got the
this
curse.
one. There's the stolen curse now, thrown in by CXK. It goes directly onto Gon. They should have the damage to kill the Wyvern. And as the zap comes in, indeed they do. SJ throws out the Global Silence, but Limit Gaming don't care that much about this. They just wait it out. And now Harpoon back. Chosen One can't find the skewer though. DQQ faster with the disruption. However, nothing is fast enough to dodge this Hex. He's still alive, however. A can't get out enough damage with this Naga Siren. Chosen One finds an RP directly onto Summer. Terrorblade, can he find a Sunder? Yes, he can, but there's still too much damage around him here, Daynog. He will end up dead. SJ, the lone survivor of this engagement, but he can't do anything to stop this. Nobody else has buybacks either. So I think we're staring at down the barrel of at least 2 lanes of racks. and potentially game one in favor of Limit Gaming.
It's a big win. If they're able to secure it, they can potentially go down towards that bottom side. I mean, again, no Terrorblade and no Winter's Curse as well is the other thing. You know, you just got to keep that mental counter of when they are able to use it. I'm a little surprised that they're playing so defensively, but maybe just playing possum a little bit here.
Indeed they are. They drag back Dolem, hex him up. They should be able to kill him off, but somehow they don't actually have the damage. He jumps back into the base. Limit Gaming.
Tier 3.
This will
with
stop
an
them.
Naga illusion, surely.
So surprised that they only lost one lane of Rax. This is honestly a dream scenario, that this is all that you had to give up, given how bad things went in the mid lane.
Yeah. It's not the cleanest play from both teams, we have to say.
Yeah. Oh boy. Will you take another look here again? This, talk to me about this, Daynog. My Grandmaster Winter Wyvern. What's the rationale behind this super early curse onto a Naga that's still at Aegis for a solid amount of duration?
There is no rationale behind it. I mean, I guess the mentality is that they didn't think that the Magnus was nearby. You could look to go in, but if he just keeps giving up that Winter's Curse, like, honestly, CXK is the most valuable kill right now. You've just got to get rid of this Rubik with the Winter's Curse. He's thankfully only got about 20 seconds left of it being stolen, but, I mean, you just can't let this guy have this spell in every single team fight. I was really talking him up previously about how he is a great Rubik player, but I just didn't think it would reach this point of the game we would really be able to show that. And that's why I was so adamant about the early Aghanim Scepter timing versus the Atos on the Wyvern, because I really felt like they just had no answers to a really early Ag Scepter.
Naga Siren in the top lane. She doesn't have an Aegis anymore. It did just expire. If they can find an angle onto her, they could potentially kill her off. And now they're going in. They're actually putting on a lot of damage. She's in trouble. She's going to try and get herself away, but she won't be able to. She's just gone.
Where are the boys?
There's no buyback either. Rubik will die very soon afterwards. As CXK came in, to make matters worse, he dies and then only assembles the 4 Aeon Disc after death. But you're right, Daynog. Where was the boys? Where was the crew? Where were the homies?
That's twice now that Chosen One just hasn't been there behind his team. One for, I would say the push into the high ground was much more of an error than that one. That was probably a little bit too much on the Naga Siren, just pushing that aggressively without the rest of the team with no Aegis. But, I mean, the game was in the palm of their hands right there.
Oh, no.
Now, 45 seconds, no Naga Siren. You're still playing with a Terrorblade. Sure, the meta's about to run out, but you're going to be able to take the second last tier 1 tower. Not too much that they could do to be able to respond to this. They could see that Chosen One is playing down towards this bottom side of the map, clearing out waves, so they know that they don't really have this immediate response, but lets them get a little bit of map control as well. And they've got pretty decent pick-off potential themselves.
Yeah. And honestly, one lane of Rax, they're going to lose a tier 3 at long last with some Shen creeps, but only one lane in a game like this, who the hell cares?
Yeah.
The frustrating thing for Limit Gaming as well is upon, you know, when the game is going well for you, you sort of lose track of the overall state of things. When all your moves are connecting flush, all your heroes are surviving in the fights, you're finding the right targets every time, you kind of forget that you have almost all your eggs in this Naga Siren basket. If she's dead, Chosen One can do some damage, but he's not itemized to be that burst damage Magnus. Nor has that come from the Abaddon. So they literally cannot afford to lose this Naga Siren. Every time she dies, they're losing a lot on the map. Several buildings, some map control, some wards as well. Game is super hard right now.
Chen is just positioning himself super aggressively to be able to get down a couple of observer wards. And obviously, Holy Grail, they don't exactly know this. Looks like, are they going to be able to get away?
Nah, they should be fine. Garn has Winter's Curse. Yeah, he's got a curse. They have Global Silence as well that they choose to extend. And Chosen One actually RP during this. But Dolem, he didn't get the Winter's Curse properly. So he doesn't get out. Doesn't hit the right target. So he ends up dead here. This CXK got himself a Demonic Purge. Is that what happened? That would make sense. Magnus does have the Linkens here. That would make perfect sense. Why did he try to target Magnus then, though? Didn't he have time to set up, like, onto Naga Siren?
Yes. He had plenty of time to set up. He was in the trees, flying around, perfect vision, Void Spirit, giving up a lot of information. There's still a gem on the deck, by the way. I was about to mention that is probably going to be the most valuable item for them to be able to pick up, just because of, you know, these crazy wards. Like, you're playing against a Magnus. He thrives off of the fact that, you know what, I've got information that you don't. I'm able to get this blink jump. And he even had a psychic headband in his inventory for the longest time. Now he's looking to transition into being a little bit more of that, like, attack damage style. I'm not sure if he needs to, though. I really think that the Magnus can still just get away with, like, holding onto the psychic headband and swapping them out depending on what the situation calls for.
I certainly could see that, actually, as a viable play option for Chosen One. I still can't believe what I just saw. How is Dolem dead right now? I thought for sure that they'd get him out of that, but...
Yep.
All right. The gem is still there. Nobody is addressing it. Still just chilling. Radiant Side has vision of it, though.
Hey,
okay,
there
they
we
pick
go,
it up
they
now.
picked it.
There we go. SJ's like, all right, boys. I think they're picking Dolem. Dolem has to be the one to go get it with his Void Spirit once he respawns. But he might also be needed for this fight because they're smoking up from Limit Gaming.
Come on,
Coming
Korea.
in with 4 heroes.
There we go. Mission
Chosen
Impossible.
One. Hey. Let's see, will the courier get there?
Dun, 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 dun.
Might have a 5v5 fight though
They're
before it
ganking
gets
you.
there. Gank is come. Oh no, they're not gonna find it. It's Hunters in the Night. The mission will succeed. Mission Impossible is there. Hey.
Easy clap. Now put it through the tree line. Oh, actually, Roshan's coming down bottom, and this is with the free
No
Aghanim
way.
Scepter as well. I mean, that's a pretty good tool to be able to have. You know, give that one over to your Terra Blade, get a bunch of free extra control for these fights, be able to deal with the Naga illusions a little bit easier. Great tool to be
Daynok,
able
no
to have.
way. No way
Yes
they
way.
get the Aegis. No
Yes
way,
way.
dude. Oh my
They just
God.
went for a smoke and didn't realize one of the biggest timings that they potentially had at their disposal.
Oh my God. So they don't get the gem. They lose out on an Aegis. Who are they gonna give the Aegis to? Who's gonna get it? Will Khan get it and then
TB.
sell his own? Or do they give it to Dolem?
Yeah, TB's got it.
All right.
It's good.
So we get
Like,
some
I
young
think they
Terra
needed
Wave.
that little bit of extra control.
And they are kind of lacking in that department. And this is a good follow-up onto Winter's Curse, right? You get a very good curse. The Terra Wave follow-up, but we might actually need to see something here because Chosen One jumped
not
in,
there.
found a Hex and a Harpoon onto SJ. They harpoon him with a Baton as well. And SJ, well, as usual in this game, gets left behind as the sacrificial doll. They say, Sauce, buddy, we need to get out. Doesn't have buyback, though, which is kind of a big deal. However,
At
they
least
don't
they
know
didn't
that he doesn't have
overcommit,
buyback.
right? They didn't overcommit, so he's still the position 5 silencer. He's going to be spawning in 35 seconds, and maybe they just feel that, hey, where did our gem go? Why can't we see what their vision's like? And maybe they're not going to be able to go up as easily into this high ground without that level of information.
Where's the gem now, actually?
Void Spirit's got it.
Does Void Spirit have it? Okay. So playing hot potato with this particular item. Void Spirit now going into a Lincoln sphere of his own. That'll definitely help. So now you have a way to deal with this Orchid and you don't get ensnared from just a bajillion miles away. And
What do you think about the people using the Stormcrafter these days? Because it doesn't dispel anymore.
yeah, that's actually true. Oh, hold on. We'll talk about it in a second because it looks like a fight's about to break out here. Naga started on the high ground. Chosen One was pump faking the RP. SJ is back though, so they have the global online. Limit Gaming. How do
Gotta
they
kill
want
this
to
creep.
approach this?
Yeah, there was just a single melee creep on the backlines, giving them all the information that a Magnus could potentially need. You can see Chosen One. He's off to the side. He wants that skewer.
He finds the skewer onto the Terror Blade, but Summer's not dead yet. Gets off the Terror Wave, and now
Not
they actually
dead.
jump onto Chosen One directly. At the same time, RP will eventually come out. We did have a massive curse onto the high ground, which to make sure that they can't go back and assist Chosen One. He ends up dead. DQQ still alive for now, but Summer and Gon are coming back to dish out the damage. They're going directly onto the Chen first and foremost, but they're losing the life of the Terror Blade as well. He needs to be careful here. Needs to
He's
be
got
able to
Aegis.
get off the Sunder. He does get it off, but he still has an Aegis. Pumps the
Ooh.
Tanic now, trying to fight with it.
He got Cold
Nagasai
Embrace, though.
going in onto Dolem. Cold Embrace, ensure that he can't heal up through the Satanic. So he will end up dead to these Naga illusions. Dolem, his Aether Remnant, only catches one of these abandoned illusions. The Naga Siren, though,
Dolem
she
can
pops the
chase
song.
you.
She wants out. Dolem wants to chase. He has one more Astral Step. He has an Aether Remnant in one. He gets the Harpoon forward. Illusion will tank up the stun, though.
Where are the boys?
He dissimulates in. And yet again, where are the boys? This is Isolation Dota, it seems like. And Holy Grail, though, in the grand scheme of things, they hold the base. They don't have to commit buybacks for this one. They lose the Aegis and they lose the range racks, but the important real estate is kept alive.
and you get even more net worth. You know, TB was holding on to 9,000 gold before that fight, and now he's got a BKB to be able to play around with as well. Level 25 too, that he got off the back of the kill before he ended up even having to use the Sunder. So it's down to a 10-second Sunder cooldown. It really feels like a rough spot to be able to kill this TB. Is he? No, he's not fully slotted. He needs a Moonshard, and then he's basically done.
Yeah. Well, he can still have one semi-expansion, right? You do the BKB trick, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
We are at the zenith point of what Summer can expect to do in this game.
He needs the Trident, I think. Yeah, upgrade the SNY.
High key, if he gets Trident, sell SNY, bro. Buy something else. Then he can buy... Actually, if he gets Trident, he can buy Skadi. There we go. That would be so nice. They should bring back, like, the build-up Trident. That would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
That was decent times. Well, the
Do you
gold
think they
lead...
should bring back Repair Kit, though?
No. Me and Lacoste actually spoke about this the other day. About how that was actually the dumbest item. Of all the items that have existed in Dota, Repair Kit might have been top one for the... On paper, already the stupidest idea to introduce to the game.
Yeah. It's something that works like... It was bad for pro games and pub games, whereas Royal Jelly was just bad for pub games because you knew that there was going to be someone tilting off the back of who got the jelly.
What other dumb items have we had? Essence String was pretty nuts.
Especially
Iron
on
Talon,
IO.
of course. Oof. IO Essence String was... That was something else. What else has been pretty crazy? I'm trying to think now.
I mean, it's not a neutral item, but Necro Book, I'm so glad it's gone.
Woo! Necro Book. I'm glad that item's not in the game. Initial... Remember in the raid carry meta?
Sorry, Summer.
Ballista? Summer? Wait, what?
You are
Summer
on your own, my man.
gets a global silence to try and protect him, but he needs to get out of here. Does have a BKB to pop, and no Aegis though. Here's gonna be DQQ. He gets off BKB as he gets himself disrupted.
Nice.
RP comes in from Chosen One. He's still alive though from Summer. And Winter Wyvern Curse finally comes in to bail him out of trouble. They're now turning onto Chosen One, raining in damage with this Metamorphosis, and it will enable them to get the kill. It came close though, and now Dolem on the chase yet again, wants some further victims for the fight. They're going in onto the Naga Siren, and they see that CXK is low, but he steals Astro Step, getting away once more. CXK is so good at the movement in this game. They do kill off DQQ now. On the high ground is a Baron, surrounded by Radiant heroes. Borrow Time will trigger. His boy is on nearby, and he can blink towards them. That being said, Dolem can give chase, finds them within the river. They don't have the additional stuns just yet. He wants to get on the high ground. Rod of Aetos stops that from happening, and the right clicks will come in. They finish him off. They force out the Song of the Siren from the Naga Siren so that everybody else can flee. And we saw some very fancy footwork from Limit Gaming, but ultimately they still lose the team fight.
They do, and I mean, that's the fight that I was expecting to wait for the Wyvern. You know, he's learned his mistakes. He uses the Splinter Blast onto the Lincoln Sphere first to be able to pop it. He curses in the middle of, like, all of those different Naga illusions, and Magnus just melts to them. So they're able to isolate him in that way. They burst him down towards the end of it. And then when Magnus is gone, as long as you just have vision of the Naga Siren and you're staying away from that Hex, you're totally free. There's nothing an Abaddon's going to do. There's nothing a Rubik's going to do. There's nothing a Chen is going to do. And it really felt like Gon finally was starting to achieve the heights that we knew that he could.
Still the lowest in net worth of the cores, but his impact in these team fights is certainly being felt. Rubik has his life saved by an Ogre Bruiser. Dolem would 100% have gone after him. Happens to not be the case. And that's 5k gold lead. You know, Fluke and I were speaking about something yesterday that right now in Dota, gold leads are very misleading. Some games have a 20k lead where the game is dead even. Other games, the team will have a 5k lead despite being behind overall.
Yep. I like the fact that they've given so much over to kills, though, in terms of what it provides for net worth. It means fighting is so much more valuable these days, and a lot of people are like, oh, it's worth too much, you know, one team fight can turn things around, but isn't that better than the meta that was just like, farming is always the most efficient choice?
Yep. I
And
can
got
tell
the
you one
best
thing.
neutral item that he could have possibly hoped for as well, the Ninja Gear. So it's going to be up to him to reveal his position in a lot of these fights.
Ninja Gear Winter Wyvern. Good times. Gonna try and leverage this as they go for a fight right now. 5 heroes are smoked up. CXK is the one that emerges. Should be a pretty easy kill onto him. He does show still some fancy footwork. However, the catch should be there. I say this, but he's making it harder than it looks. Does eventually die, though. I think it's because they didn't want to pop the Nully. Dolam didn't want to use Nullifier, so took longer than it should have.
But, Mag?
Oh, now onto the chosen one. Magnus gonna get caught in. They need some way to get him out of trouble. Global Silence will be popped by SJ. And he did blink to the low ground. Aphotic Shield helping out quite a lot for Chosen One. And with Global popped, maybe Holy Grail choose to retreat from this area.
I was just thinking that the Rubik could have very easily just Astral Step to the right side instead of down. You know, he would have cleared the tree line. He had Blink Dagger as well, which would have enabled him to just blink back to further safety. They didn't have vision at that point in time, but you had a tier 2 tower to be able to play around with, so it's a little bit of an odd choice, just giving up his life for free, but I guess they get the Global Silence out of it. It's going to be a silence level 15 already, so he's got that cooldown talent. Now, Arcane Curse is undispellable as well. Not like they have the greatest heroes, but I actually haven't seen the interaction with the Naga Siren, right? Like, if you use the Arcane Curse onto a bunch of Naga illusions and then they use the mirror image, does the real one actually get revealed with the Arcane Curse debuff?
Ah, that's actually an interesting question. You can probably see it in this game as bottom. Chosen One getting taken out right now by Dolam. Very good kill. They might be able to double it up by going for this Abaddon too. He is not very close to his team, completely isolated. So should be killed off. And Limit Gaming beating kill after kill after kill over these last few minutes. And they're going to continue to contribute to the coffers of the Radiant lineup. Nice attempt on the Blink, buddy, but they have Blink, they have harpoons, they have mobility, they can catch you.
Roshan's up, by the way. So,
on Radiant side, of course,
just
right? Okay,
given away for free off the back of this DQQ. Keep Roshan in his home, please. All right, who's getting this?
This isn't Roshan's home, bro. This is Roshan's work. This is his place of business.
No, that's right. It's his summer home.
Yeah. Did you say that
Void
because he's
Spirit
fighting against Summer?
Also, yes. But, like, you know, his home, he's like, you know, doomy, gloomy. That's sort of his vibe. But then, you know, it comes down and this is his beach episode, you know, for all of the anime enjoyers out there. You got to have a beach episode.
That actually makes it even more rude. It'll be fine if they're interrupting his workday. But they're coming up while he's on vacation? That's messed up. They also steal his gear as well. They grab the Aegis, they grab the cheese, and the Aghanim Scepter for Dolam. So now the push is going to be on. And you were talking earlier about Dolam scaling into damage, right? He changed his mind earlier in the game from the Silver Edge. But now he comes back and he does you one better. Finishes off a full Daedalus. This is a lot of damage from this Void Spirit. It's a 500 damage by himself early on. And CXK...
not respecting the Watcher.
Look. This is worth it. You know why, J-Knock? This is just getting the Wisdom Rune he was owed earlier.
True. Can Wyvern get... I mean, he stole
Arctic
Burn and he's got
No way, dude. No, dude. Who is this guy? All right.
Man's good.
That's... So, when we started 202, or 203 rather, for Division 2, myself and Fluke said we should be spending the entire tour looking out for the next generation. You know who the next big talents are? And this CXK Rubik, every game I've seen it, I've been extremely impressed.
Yeah. For sure. He's just putting in a lot of work. All right, so one of the other things is they don't get the kill, which probably would have given Wyvern her level 25. He also steals away the Wisdom Rune, which probably would have given Wyvern 25 if she was the one to pick it up. And that's pretty key this game, especially considering you just got the Tormentor taken away. Remember, Cold Embrace launches out the Splinter Blast, so if you get level 25, you get that Splinter Blast stun off the back of that. Even just casting a Cold Embrace onto anything in these team fights is just going to provide that little bit of extra control that you might need. So it's one of the best level 25 talents in the game is Wyverns.
Yep. Winter Wyvern. What a hero. Mid lane, we do see Chosen One finding a very nice drag back on the Terrorblade. He is all alone. SJ will be there, hopefully, to try to save him. Was already popped the first global, but what can they do on the second life here? Summer comes back from the Aegis. He needs assistance. He needs a way out of this fight. Garn is nearby, waiting in the wings with the Winter's Curse. Hasn't been thrown out just yet. Limit, though, still want to go further in. Dolam will choose to pierce the backlines, trying to find the supports here. CXK will end up dead. Garn finding the kill with the Arctic Burn. And now the rest of Holy Grail feeling strong on the fight. They throw out the Eternal Chains. It catches a Baron in the chin, but they didn't have the initial follow-up just yet. The slows are still there. Dolem getting the harpoon out onto this Naga Siren. They really want to kill her. She's trying to run herself away right now. Silenced up by the Aghanims of Dolem. But they also don't know exactly where the Magnus is. So it's hard to keep track of this hero. Garn wants to go in with the Winter's Curse. They're going on to Chen first, dragging him in with the Aether Remnant. That needs them to kill him. Chosen One finding a quick skewer onto SJ on the right-hand side of the fight. He needs to get out of here. Long-range Eternal Chains. Dolem jumps in, and Chosen One killed off. Unstoppable streak for this TB. And both supports buy back from Limit Gaming. That will at least sound the retreat for Holy Grail, but they feel really good about this fight. 3 kills, 2 buybacks, losing absolutely nothing of value in the process. Life is good.
And getting Wyvern up to the 25 as well. I mean, it's one of those things, right? They, once again, a key hero is found out on their own, and they're just not able to burst him down fast enough. It really feels like they're lacking that ability for the Abaddon, you know, be able to close in onto him, or for the Magnus to start really using their right clicks, because they are plenty farmed at this stage. You know, the TB should be dying if everyone just looks to commit, but that's the Wyvern factor, right? You don't want to clump up, even with all of these link-ins that they've got, because a single Winter's Curse onto like 3 cores could completely turn around a team fight at this stage of the game.
What a game of Dota it's been. 56 minutes in, Holy Grail have asserted themselves in full control, and they might find some additional kills here. CXK jumped on by Dolem.
He just bought back.
This time, he doesn't worry about the Nullifier, and you're right, he did buy back. Abaddon's about to die as well. He doesn't have buyback.
He doesn't have buyback.
This is a problem right now, Daynok.
This is a big problem.
I also have a Terrorblade, you know? Not a hero that is known for being shy about decimating your base in a very short duration.
I mean, Naga's going to have to do something ballsy, like put the real Naga there on that mid lane to be able to push this one out while pushing in the top side. But Naga, despite the fact that it is a bullshit hero, can still not push out all 3 lanes at once when you've got this 5v3 advantage. Probably even more, considering you're going up against a couple of cheeses.
They have a couple cheeses. Oh no, they're going to take away the Chen's life. And if Chen dies here, Shu Shang does not have buyback either, as it's a dieback. Chosen One caught by the Terror Wave. Oh no, they find the Magnus. Magnus also doesn't have buyback. So if he dies, I believe this game is over. Dead in the grave for another 90 seconds. They song up. It's a very nice song. Catches 4 heroes, but will accomplish absolutely nothing. As the track ends, Holy Grail go right back onto pushing. They don't even care about the Naga. They'll hex her out now. They'll drag her back in. They'll finally kill her off. And that should trigger the GG call. She buys back just to at least make it a bit more entertaining. But this game is over, Daynok. Holy Grail, it was rough for them. It wasn't the easiest journey. But at the end of the day, they put themselves in a good position. They win some key fights. And they end up securing a game number 1.
Goddamn, that one went a lot longer than...